Look who's on the line. We haven't spoke to him in a while. He's no longer coaching high school football and living the life of retirement, but a lifetime Longhorn nonetheless, and one of the legendary coaches in the great state of Texas, our friend Todd Dodge. Todd, how are you?
Good morning, guys.
Hey, how are things?
What's up, Coach?
How y'all doing?
We're doing great.
Doing great.
How about you? What are you up to? I mean, it's August. Shouldn't you be out at two-a-days or what?
Well, yeah, no.
No.
I'm gonna go play golf. I'm gonna go play golf here in a little bit.
There you go. There you go. So it's safe to say you're enjoying the retirement. I know your son's still coaching, and you're staying close to that and connected there. But tell our audience who followed your great career for so long, what are you up to these days?
Oh, well, Elizabeth and I live out here at Horseshoe Bay, and I still do. The summertime, June and July, I do 3 quarterback wide receiver camps, which I added one when I retired. And so that kind of do one in Austin, one San Antonio, one down in Corpus Christi. And so that kind of scratches the itch a little bit. And then, yes, last season was my first year in retirement, and I saw Riley's team, the South Lake Carroll Dragons, play probably 7 times, of their 14 games. Saw the Chaparrals play. Probably will go back to more of Chaparral games this year. I didn't want to be that guy that retired and just kept trying to hang around and stuff, last year. But love Tony and all the guys over there at Westlake. They're doing such a great job. And then I've got 4 grandchildren and one more on the way, and so that's a lot of fun.
Hey, Coach, are you getting enough of your football fix now in your retirement? When guys leave the game in any capacity, whether player or coach, they have this addiction to the game. It's a part of your DNA. Are you getting enough of your football fix through the camps and being around your sons and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think so, Rod. It definitely is not something that you can just do cold turkey.
Yep.
I mean, and I always tell coaches, this time of year, I don't care whether you coach in Texas high school football or at the collegiate level, if someone wanted to knock off a coach, take him out, it wouldn't be hard to do because they'd know where to find him every day, every minute of every day. There's such a, regiment that you get into, and we kind of love that grind, and when you retire, when it's over with, you can't, there's a lot of things that, you can't just stop at all. And so, yes, being involved with young quarterbacks and receivers, being involved with my son's teams. I've done, quite a few speaking. I do some staff consulting. I do some speaking, on at different clinics and things like that across the country. And that's also been fun. Elizabeth and I get to travel doing that stuff.
Nice. Well, that's great to hear. And 7 times a state champion as a head coach at the 5A and 6A level. Of course, Westlake 3 in a row on the way out, and what a run. Coach, your son's at South Lake Carroll. Can we ask you a little bit about Quinn Ewers? Obviously, he played for Riley, and now he is emerging as the leader of this Texas football team. And I'm sure Riley still keeps in contact with Quinn. Everything we've seen and heard from him, he looks like a different guy. He's got the haircut, and he's slimmed down, and really, really attention to detail stuff. What are you hearing from Riley? What are you seeing from Quinn Ewers going into his second full year?
Well, first of all, from Riley, yes, they are still very close. Riley, coached him for 3 years. He was part of their varsity for part of his freshman year. Took him to a semifinal his sophomore year, and then took him to the state championship game his junior year. So, yeah, they were together a long time. I personally had Quinn in camp back when he was a rising 9th grader, and it doesn't take long to figure out when you can hear the ball coming out of someone's hand like you could that even at that age. But it's really good. I mean, Quinn is he's such a good kid. He really is. And I think people who've been around him, and this is coming from Riley more than anything, he's kind of a little bit shy and introverted a little bit. But I think he's really stepping out of that and becoming the leader that he needs to be. And it doesn't take long to figure out when you just see him, when they do a news clip of the Longhorn or something, that he has definitely kind of redefined what his body should look like, and that's a good thing. And I think one thing people don't realize, and Riley and I were talking about this the other day, Riley was saying, I don't think people really realize what a really good athlete he is. you kind of, last year you got the mullet and you got the beard and you kind of got the, the body's a little bit dumpy looking, and all of a sudden people, but now he's kind of back. When he was in high school, I mean, he was a track athlete also, he was a member of the mile relay team and the 4x2. He could scoot now. I can remember watching him as a sophomore take 180 to the house on zone read against Denton Geyer, and they got some guys that can run. So, big Quinn fan, obviously. Just look for great things for him.
Hey, Coach, your name, the family name, and your brand has become synonymous with quarterback development. And it's almost its own industry now, just quarterback development. Guys become made men in football because of their evaluation and development of the quarterback. And you are one of those made men because everybody, you seem to have the magic touch. What do you look for when you are looking for a quarterback? What are the traits that you identify that, hey, these are traits I must have in a quarterback, because you've turned Westlake into one of the greatest quarterback factories, or helped turn into one of the greatest quarterback factories in the country?
Yeah, well, probably the number one thing is he coachable? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when we were all young, I think we probably got told, hey, you got to be coachable, or man, he's so coachable, or you'd hear somebody go, that kid is so uncoachable. Yeah. And I used to think, I didn't know what the hell that meant. I mean, I thought it meant saying yes sir, no sir. And I think that's what a lot of kids do. Yes sir, no sir, and, a lot of times that has no, I always tell our kids at Westlake, I said, shit. I said, y'all are, that's manners. That's what, yes sir, no sir is manners. That's because your parents raised you good and all that. So being coachable is doing something the way a coach asks you to do it the very first time he asks you to do it, to the best of your ability. So I think at the quarterback position, that's key, because there is a certain way that you're going to do something, whether it's throwing the ball, whether it's running the zone read, whether it's playing without the ball, whether it's the RPO game. So I think that's number one. Mm-hmm. The second thing is, can we develop this kid into being someone who is absolutely ultra accurate? Can he make the routine look routine? In the age of what we're in, the post routes, the fly routes, the double move, deep routes, that's all the sexy stuff. And I tell our quarterbacks all the time, that's not what makes these offenses go. The ones that make the offense go is, can you be a quarterback that can put your team in second down and 4-3-2-1 about 8 times a game? And that's a lot of times that's kind of an untalked about down and distance. And I always tell them, I said, if we can live in second down and 4 or less about 8 times a game, guess what? If we don't turn the ball over, we're going to win a lot of football games, because A, we're going to stay on the field, and B, we are going to have a lot of explosives, because we're going to be able to take them in times that not everybody in 3 counties going, what's the fly route, what's the post route, that kind of deal.
Yep. Question, Coach, was our producer Ty Henderson a coachable player? Is he a coachable guy, or what? What are we doing?
I tell you what, Ty has got one of the nicest tattoo / brands on his back that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, we've heard the brand story. It's always to get the attention of a girl, right? That's usually how that goes when you end up with a brand on your back.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. No, I mean, it's I'll never forget when we were in off season one day, and I went, what in the hell is that? And of course I got the story, and the beauty of Ty has always been very honest. Ty he just threw it out there. And so, I tell you what, I'm glad that tattoos and branding and stuff like that wasn't popular in Port Arthur, Texas, because I'd probably have a few tattoos all over me, because we would have been stupid enough to do that.
Great. He's Ty Unfiltered, we call him. He is without boundary when it comes to what he'll talk about on the radio.
Yeah.
Not just to us. He'll say it to everybody on the radio, which is great. Hey, Coach, you went back-to-back 3 times. I mean, 3-time, of your 7 titles. So you know what great culture is like, because that's different players. That's different, leaders and quarterbacks to go 3 in a row. We've heard Steve Sarkisian this offseason talk about this team here at Texas starting to sound like his team, starting to sound like when he hears them talk and communicate. I'm assuming you can relate to that. And what does that mean to you when you hear Sark saying that this being around this team, they sound like a team that I'm coaching? That has to resonate with you.
Absolutely, it does, and I really think part of being able to do that and to live up to what the expectations are. And I mean, Rod, it doesn't matter what year it is. It doesn't matter whether it's 1981 through 85 or the years that you played in the early 2000s or now. I mean, the expectations are there.
Yep.
And you better embrace them, and you better learn how to play with that bullseye. And what we always told our kids is, people always talk about the big games, the rivalry games. To me, the way that you put a good streak together and win a whole bunch of games during a year is respect your opponents and the people that you play. I think sometimes when someone's playing someone that everybody in town through whatever it is saying, oh hell, y'all going to run half a hundred on them by halftime. What that makes you, if you buy into that, makes you soft, and it makes your practice habits kind of dwindle a little bit. And to me, you're either getting better or you're getting worse, and you can't rock along through your season and go, hell, we got 2 gimme games in the middle of the season. We can just kind of take it off. And your coaching staff can't say, well, we're going to find this time to like play a bunch of freshmen in this game. You got to beat the hell out of people you're supposed to beat the hell out of, And I just think that's. Everybody talks about the Texas OU game and A&M coming back on schedule. That stuff takes care of itself. To me, the Horns have not had a problem winning the big games against big people and playing well. Sometimes you got to beat the people you're supposed to beat, and you got to play really well while you're doing that. So that's my take.
Yeah, it's a great point, Coach. I agree with that. Yeah, and I love that.
Well, it's kind of an oxymoron that beat the hell out of them, but it's because you respect them, then you're better. That's why you beat the hell out of them, because you're respecting their ability that they could beat you on any given day. Absolutely, Eric.
I mean, to me, if you rock along and you're playing someone that you ought to beat, and the final score is 27-17, to me that's disrespect, because you disrespected them because you probably didn't. Your work ethic during the week wasn't up to par, And I know that's kind of a crazy way of thinking, but what that does is keep a team, and that was kind of our means to our madness in the three-peat, is that we just never got. Well, I'll tell you this: in my whole time at Westlake, I feel like we lost one game in the entire time at Westlake that we should have won. After that one loss, no one ever beat us that we should absolutely beat. And I think that's because we stayed consistent, throughout. Didn't ever let them take a week off. After a while, it's just the kids do that. But I've got 5 kids that played for me at Westlake that are playing at Texas now, and I'm getting awesome feedback from them about the locker room.
Yeah. That is great. Hey, Coach, I want to ask you, because Sark has been. He always says you get what you emphasize, and he's been emphasizing situational football, playing your best football in key moments, critical moments down the stretch, fourth quarter, game on the line. Yeah. What, as a coach, how do you construct practices? What do you do to make sure you as a coach emphasize that and try to, improve players' situational awareness? Like, what do you do as a coach to improve that?
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing about it starts in spring football practice where there's something every day, whether, for us at the high school at Westlake, it was, we've got certain days that we can full contact, certain days we can thump, but even if we're in a thump mode, we can work, red zone, but every single day, and it's just the emphasis on it and explain, here's the situation. There's a minute and 15 seconds left to go in the game. This team is up by 7. So y'all got the ball. What are we going to do with it? So put it in those situations. Coming out, we used to do that. I don't know that we ever got ourselves in 21 my last year on our own 4-yard line. But I tell you what, we worked on it a bunch. And I always I tell people all the time, I said, when we would, through my time at Westlake, there was probably 6 occasions that we had the ball inside our own 4-yard line, first and 10 on your own 1 yard line. Well, I always told our players, I said, guys, that's the only opportunity you have to break a state record. And they look at me like, what the hell are you talking about? I said, the only way you can throw a 99-yard touchdown pass is be on the 1 yard line. You know?
I love that.
That's a glass half full, Coach.
And we did it twice during the 8 years. We did it twice
Wow.
during those 8 years to a 99-yard touchdown. So you kind of look at it like that, and then but just you got to in those situations. You got to talk about it. To me, you got to get stories about it. I'm a history major, and so I love to tell stories about the good things that have happened in football and maybe the mistakes that have happened in football. And I think from week to week, you can point out what happened in this college game. You go, hey, this team came from behind. They were down 21 and came all the way back. And we're real big on also when we get. It doesn't matter whether we're winning by 21 or we're down by 21, is staying in, what we did at the high school level. I don't think there's any magic to it. We stayed in 4-minute increments of a game.
Oh, yeah.
Literally. When you start a game, we're going to play for this 4 minutes. Okay, so what's going to happen in this 4 minutes of the game? Okay, we kicked off to them. We've got to go when we kick off. There's a win or a loss to be had.
Yeah.
Okay. They've got the ball. They've got the ball first. Our defense is on the field. Okay. There is a win or a loss. We go 3 and out. Guess what? We just won. We got a goal on the goal board. All right. Now we make them punt. Well, we get the ball inside the 50-yard line. Guess what? We just hit another one. All right. Now the offense goes out and we score on the first possession. So, one of the things that I think that always helped keep us grounded and focused in a game is that we have a goal board at Westlake High School that we absolutely live by. And I think sometimes I've been in coaching a long time, and I've probably been on a staff before that's had goal boards that they're just really pretty and they're fancy and no one ever talks about them, but at Westlake, that's the one that, you hear our kids on the sideline going, goal board, goal board, goal board.
I still think about it, Coach.
For everybody.
Ty still thinks about
Every
it.
4 plays.
Yeah. Well, and I've heard you when you were doing those great weekly
stuff.
visits with Craig Way here on the Horn, and it was always must listen radio to learn more about football. But that goal board, can you describe that a little bit more, because it's such a way to break things down that football simplify it. These are the goals we have. If we and I know you would put numbers on. If we do this, as you just said, we do this 8 times, we're going to win this football game. What were the main goals that you would have on the whiteboard?
All right. Well, not necessarily in this order. Score on the first possession of the game or of the second half. If you do either one of those, you get you check that one off. Never have a 3 and out. That's a lofty goal.
Yeah.
We never want a 3 and out. Okay. So that's let's see. No turnovers. I mean, I tell our kids. I said I've seen goal boards before, but people go. No more than 2 turnovers. Well, hell, a turnover will get you beat. So no turnovers. No unforced penalties. No pre-snap penalties.
Okay.
At all. We don't coach our kids to not have any penalties. I think you're gonna, So score every time from the red zone. Like with our quarterbacks, I tell you, we've been blessed with some kickers at Westlake, and if we get inside the 20-yard line, guess what? We've got 3 points, guys. Don't, score. It doesn't score every time from the red zone. So there's 7 or 8 of them, 9 of them on offense. And it is absolutely, Aaron, and I've looked back through the years at South Lake, the years everywhere I've been as a head coach. Offensively, there's 9 goals. Defensively, there's 9 goals. Kicking game, there's 7 goals. Okay, so through our years at Westlake and all the other places, if the offense achieves 6 or more, the defense achieves 6 or more of their goals, and the special teams achieves 4 or more of those 7, and we don't turn the ball over more than 1 time, we're undefeated.
Wow.
Never lost.
Wow.
Never lost a game.
Well, that makes sense. Process into
That is
performance.
fantastic. I'm writing that stat down, Coach. That's great.
It's not, when I started doing the research on it, I was like, gosh almighty. And then when you get a bunch of kids to believe in it, and it's all stuff that has nothing to do with, like on our offensive goal board, we don't have throw for 300 and rush for, 175 or 200.
Yeah. The team goals.
Me, that's a quarterback. That's a quarterback goal.
Yeah.
The other one that's really important is to have is to score as a unit, 75% or better as a unit. Meaning, what we do is, you just basically, it's easy. You get the call sheet at the end of the game. You go, okay, it's 1st and 10. We got 5 yards. 2nd and 5. We got 7 yards. Check. Every chance you have to move the football. The other one that's I think really important is that we want to achieve 50% on 3rd down. I think the NFL 33% is like winning football in the NFL. 50% on 3rd down. So all of those things, and they're not easy goals to get. They're really not. And but
it leads to winning.
It is definitely a blueprint. It's a blueprint for winning. And when you get the kids, when they believe in that, hell, you could probably tell them that it may not be true, and they'd still go run through the wall about it.
Yeah.
But they believe, and it's all stuff that's going to win. You just think about it. If you don't turn the ball over, if you score every time in the red zone, you never have a 3 and out. Boom, boom, boom. And even if you get close to some of those,
yeah,
and you catch up with another one in another area.
Oh yeah.
You're playing winning football. And so when on Saturday morning, you can look at it and you go, I know exactly why we won by 40.
Yeah.
I know exactly why we only won by 7. Or I damn sure know why we got beat.
Yep.
It's going to tell the tale right now.
Well, and as you said, Coach, they're not individual achievements. It's a team thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
To not go 3 and out takes everybody. To score every time in the red zone takes everybody, and that's not, so I got to do my job to achieve that goal, and it puts it in a simplified perspective. And it led to a lot of winning for our guest Todd Dodge.
Tons of
7 state championships, 3 in a row at Westlake from 19 to 21. And as you said, Coach, you got 5 guys playing for Texas right now, and hearing good things out of that locker room. Do you keep up with Sam up there in Indianapolis? I know they've drafted a rookie, but he's still working his way with the Colts in the National Football League.
Yeah, Sam, he's still alive, everybody in Austin. I talked to him last week. And, everybody, the ultra competitor. And he's grinding along. He's taking inventory of things that he can control.
That's right.
And so, who knows? He said, Coach, I'm just every day, and I'm doing the best. He got to play through the ball 9 times, completed, I think, 7 or 8 of 9 for 72 yards. And, the other day, text me. That's all you can do. You're also, this, Rod. He's putting tape on for anybody else also.
That's exactly right.
Okay. I've got Chase Daniel, this may have been his last, but he played 14 or 15 years in the league. And he's the highest paid backup quarterback in NFL history because he's such a professional.
Yep.
And people always say, well, how'd you stay along? He said, I was humble and I carried the clip. He said, I basically caddied for the guy who's the starter, and I just took care of him.
That's right. And go in when you need to. That was Drew Brees for a long time in New Orleans, and he was a heck of a player at Missouri too, and played for you in high school in South Lake Carroll.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, he's great, and so I hope for Sam that Sam can have a similar, experience that Chase had.
Yep.
Well, Coach, appreciate the extended visit and all the stories and the tales and how to win football games.
Great
you just kind of
stuff,
mapped
Coach.
it out right there because you certainly backed it up, and I think we learned a lot from you, and our audience did too. Thank you, Todd. Glad
Thanks,
to hear
Coach.
you're doing well.
Thank y'all. Hook 'em,
Coach.
There you go.
That was all. That was just you get all that football football knowledge that he just dropped on us right there.
It ties in there having sweats. Oh, I remember the goal board.
Oh.
Seriously. Well, I remember talking to Coach because when he would come in here to meet with Craig, he'd get here
I
early
remember those
sometimes because I was off the air at 10, and Craig would go on, and then Todd would show up, and he sometimes would just chat for a little while. And I remember, there were goals at practice too. So the goals were it started at practice and then they transitioned into the games.
Man.
And they had the goal to never let the ball hit the ground.
Yep.
Never let the ball hit the ground.
Receivers, yeah.
So receivers dropping
no
balls,
drops,
receivers
nothing.
accuracy.
No fumbles, none of that.
And that's why
phone exchanges.
Well, and that's something that we've heard Steve Sarkisian say, that it's the players that are now holding each other accountable. That Quinn Ewers knows to not have a ball hit the ground, he's got to be accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And the receiver knows to not have a ball hit the ground, which is a team goal. I got to catch the ball, and it just to me that as just an individual, that puts it all on you, and it focuses you that I don't just have to do my job on this play. I get it. We all have to do our job, and if they don't, then hey man,
hold each other accountable.
That's on you.
Peer accountability. I heard Jaron Thompson say the same thing. They asked Jaron Thompson, are you a leader? And he's like, yeah, I'm a leader. And they asked him, well, who's leading on the team? And he's like, whoever sees it.
Yeah.
Whoever sees that something's wrong, you step up and you say something. Like, see something, say something. And it really struck me because he was really matter of fact about it. He was like, well, who's stepping up? He was like, whoever sees it. Whoever sees that we are lacking in a specific area that is going to hurt our chances of being a winning football team. Whatever's hurting the winning blueprint. So, I love what Coach Dodge just dropped on us right there. So, he said undefeated when they get 6 of the 9 goals on defense and offense, and 4 of the 7 on special teams, and with 0 turnovers.
Coach Dodge would read them off on Saturday mornings before film, and it was a celebration between the whole. Like, we would get hyped when we'd hit those goals.
Oh, I bet.
That's awesome.
Because they're team goals. Like, you got that's a group. Even the guys who are helping you practice on the scout team can celebrate. Oh no, we had 0 turnovers, baby. I'm part of that. We're all part of that.
And I know we got to get time out, but I think the other is true. Like, you can beat somebody 50-0, but if you look at the goal board and it wasn't very good, you can say, well, guys, we didn't play that well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Guys, we fell short here.
We were sloppy.
And maybe it was our opponent was inferior, but if we do that against our next opponent, we're going to lose. Or we could lose, right? That, to me, everything he just said is what Sark's trying to overcome at Texas, which is exactly right. We're going to get up for the big games. We're going to be hyped for the big game. Are we doing this in practice day to day that leads to the game so we don't? So we beat the hell out of people we should beat the hell out of, as he just said, and respect your opponent to the level. This program has played down to opposition for a long time.
That's a great point.
That's what needs to change. All right, we're late. We'll get a timeout, but it was worth it. Todd Dodge, 7 times a state champion as a high school coach, through 4 at. By the way, he won 7, but he also lost twice, and one of them was an overtime loss to North Shore when Ty was playing.
Yeah, that was rough.
Ty, come on.
I was hurt.
I was hurt. But that still crushes you. You still have nightmares about 21-14 overtime North Shore.
Definitely, me and my friends, if after a few beverages late at night, we'll put on that game tape, and there'll be some arguing.
Even Mac Brown said the reason he gave up coaching at first, he says, because the losses hurt more than the wins actually felt good.
Yeah,
the losses were just brutal for him.
Well, there's some football theory and football process put in place right there.